So, I'm in the middle of some fender work here. And obviously I got the hood off, and I figured, there's a good opportunity to show you how I got this heater set up. This is one of those Chinese heaters. You can generally pick them up for around 150 to 170, somewhere like that. If you get crazy, you might spend a little bit more. Pretty simple setup. I have on my YouTube page, please subscribe, by the way, how this works out of the car, but I thought I'd show you how I set it up for in the car. Now keep in mind, this is kind of a setup that comes in and out. So I made it kind of convertible. And the reason for that is, when I'm doing racing and stuff in the summer, obviously I don't need it. I generally use this May and October, maybe September if it's kind of cold. I do live in Michigan, so anyway, I got it mounted in the front. It is solid, okay, it's not going anywhere, but as you can see, there's some screws, and I can actually get that bracket out of there. So it's there and there. That holds the heater in. I made myself a nice little Ocean Spray gas can. I know people are going to say it's a little sketchy, but the truth is, that plastic is very, I picked this particular bottle because the plastic is very strong for whatever reason. And the diesel fuel does not eat through plastic, which is nice. It's more of it's almost like vegetable oil, frankly. And you actually can run this on vegetable oil. You can run this on a lot of things. I even tried running it on, you can run it on kerosene. You can run it on a lot of things. Anyway, as you can see, it's pretty simple setup. There's the intake. There is an exhaust that goes underneath the car. You can see it right there. So actually that exhaust is right near the front fender. With the bumper on, you can't tell. Anyway, then the actual heat goes through here, right there into the footwell on the passenger side. It's a pretty simple setup. So I'll start the thing up and show it to you how it works. The only thing I have not really physically installed, just because the car's down and I haven't really gotten into it. I mean, everything's pretty much done, but the controller, which is this right here, does need to get put into the glove box. Not a big deal. And I will do that. It's 5 minutes. I just honestly have not had to mess with it, so I decided not to worry about it. Let me turn the ignition on and we'll start this thing up. The one thing you'll notice is that the... let me get over here. Excuse me. There we go. The one thing you'll notice is that it doesn't just like turn on. It takes a few seconds. So the first thing you'll notice is, of course, everything's looking great there. And upside down, by the way. So, I'm going to turn the thing on. You hit that button. And you'll see it says on. And you see the little fan going. And you can hear it start to spool up. Now, just because it's spooling up does not mean that it's running yet. And to be perfectly honest with you, I haven't run this in a little bit, but it looks like the fuel's still primed, so that's good. There is a prime feature on here, and you can go online and learn about all that. But at any rate, it's going to start going, and it tells you how hot it is, and you can actually set the amount of heat that you want and all this other stuff. But it does take a few seconds before it starts going, and you'll see smoke coming out of the exhaust a little bit, which is kind of freaky, but that's kind of how it works. And it's cold in here right now. I would say right now it's about, 18 degrees in here, because I live in Michigan and I didn't turn the heater on for this very purpose. The noise you hear in the background, other than this noise, is I put a charger on it so that I don't wear my battery down while we play with this thing, because not only does it have to spool up, but before you turn it off, it has to spool down, because this thing gets hot and it wants to actually cool down. Oh, you hear the noise? That's the fuel pump kicking in. So now it's taking in fuel, and very soon we'll see a little bit of smoke coming out of there, and it can get kind of hot at the exhaust, and so you don't want to put your fingers there like I just did. I was just curious. So, and it tells you what's going on as it's doing its thing. So the fuel pump's going, and it's trying to draw in some fuel. I kind of see some fuel in the filter, so that's a good thing. And eventually you'll hear this thing kick on, and it just goes, you know, and does its thing. Then it just pumps heat into the passenger cabin. You can set this to, you know, to a particular temperature, and it will turn on and off, though I hear that's not conducive to long life before this thing starts coking up with carbon and stuff. Now obviously we're 5 minutes into this thing, and it's, you know, it's still playing. Oh, there it goes. You can kind of hear it. It's very quiet. It is going. So hear the fuel pump getting a little more excited. It's all automated, which is kind of neat for what you pay for. You can hear it's getting faster. Pretty neat, right? And it does kick out some heat, man. Still not getting a ton of exhaust. But it's going. Now, you see how it's got one blue dot? When it's fully up to temp, it'll go all the way up to red. So it'll go from like blue to yellow to red. Red means that she's fully doing her thing. So it's still torquing up a little bit. Again, now we're at 6 minutes 30 seconds. So this is not like a, hey, I'm gonna flip the switch. Hey, notice the little smoke now we got going on from the exhaust here? Again, keep in mind it's really cold in this garage, so any sort of smoke is gonna show. Yeah, we're cooking now. And yeah. So anyway, like I was saying, 6 minutes 57 seconds. Obviously this is not something you just flip on for like a 10-minute drive. That wouldn't make much sense. Oh, there we go. Now we're cooking. Keep in mind this was under the hood of the car. So again, all the exhaust is going outside. There's nothing in, you can't smell anything under the hood. So, and this is actually meant to be like in a, like a truck cab or, you know, another car. So it's not like it's something that is terribly dangerous in here. Again, it's made for it. The unit can get a little hot on the back side, I've noticed, as time goes on. Alright, we're up to a couple yellows here, so as you can see, we're probably kicking out heat, I would assume. Let's take a look. It should be coming out. Oh yeah, we got heat coming out here real good. This is awesome. So yeah, in the car, already cranking some heat. That's a beautiful thing. So, as you can see, it's working. And she'll heat you out of the car pretty damn good. Alright, so now we're up to the red. So we're at full, pretty much full bore. And then she'll just keep humming right along. Very easy to put your hand on. It's not really hot. The tube's warm, I would say. All the hot is right here. That's hot. So basically air intakes on this side goes to an exhaust which is straight through the bottom on this metal plate. That goes straight out of the car through a hole I made in the bottom. So none of that's touching anything that matters. Actually, it's not touching anything. It's kind of free flowing in the hole, but it is held with clamps, so it's not moving anywhere. So basically, we got heat now. We're heating up nice. She's doing her thing. You can hear it's not like totally quiet, but it's not crazy loud. Plus, I think from in the car, let's see how loud it is from in the car. It's not bad. You can barely hear it. I mean, you hear a little bit of heat coming in. I mean, it's definitely so anywho, that is my heating system. It should cool down in about a minute. You know, take about a minute to cool down. It'll just shut right off, and then I can turn the power off. And I'll probably set up something so that it's direct power, because I think from the ignition turning it off is kind of inconvenient. So anyway, but I love the system. It does work. You can't beat the price for heat. And let's face it, heat in a Volkswagen has always been a big thing, especially in Michigan. Once I got everything 100%, I could actually use this car year-round if I really wanted to. And, you know, it'd be nice to take it out once in a while in the winter. So, in May and September, man, you know, we're still having car meets and stuff. And it gets cold. There's just no way to put it. It gets cold. So this is a way to get around that. Obviously, you could mount this in many different places, in many different Volkswagens. This is just where I placed it because I don't generally have a spare in the front anyway due to the Rally gas tank. So I usually put the spare in the back seat. So that is my system. This is Dan. I hope you enjoyed the video. If you have any questions, please post below. Be nice. And please subscribe. Talk to you later.